Alright, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit special because it's going to be covering 5 different training sessions from this past week, almost an entire week's worth of training, and then I've got a few other announcements towards the end of the video which I think you guys are going to like, so stay tuned for those. But starting off, this is actually day 2 of week 7 of this conjugate method program, or this conjugate based program, and this is going to be a maximum effort upper body day focusing on the bench press. And with this, I'm going to be doing a close grip paused bench press with accommodating resistance, working up to a heavy 1 rep max. Started the workout off with a nice solid dynamic effort or dynamic warm up. So really going through trying to warm up those rotator cuffs, shoulders, chest, triceps, all the muscle groups that I'm going to be working before I get into my primary movement. I find that this really helps to kind of prevent stiffness and aid in recovery over the next couple days, something that I had not been doing very often, but I notice a huge difference when I actually go through and do it. So once I finished off with the warm-up, then I moved into the actual movement. Now, as you can see, starting off pretty light, just a few reps with the bar, threw on 10 kg each side, did a few more reps, really just trying to nail down that movement pattern, threw on 25 each side, still same thing, a few more reps, really locking in the movement pattern, and then I threw on the bands. So typically, a lot of times I would normally throw the bands on first and start warming up with them right out of the gate. However, I really wanted to make sure that I have the movement pattern, the pause, everything else locked in before I started throwing the bands on, because the bands will start to incorporate a little bit of instability, and I didn't want that. But once we had those, then we started warming up into our heavier weight, and then we started working towards that 1 rep max. So this, you can see here, this is what, 190? No, 90, sorry, not 190. Wish it was 190, but that was what, 90 kg plus 30 kg in band tension. Then we move up to 95 kg, or approximately 209 pounds, plus the 30 kg of band tension. It's there about 15 kg each side, and that's like 66 additional pounds of accommodating resistance. So pretty solid single there. After that, backed off from that to, what was it, 80% of that 1 rep max, and hit some volume sets. First set was an AMRAP targeting between 3 to 5 reps. Ended up getting 4, as you saw there. And then I did 4 additional sets at 3 reps per set with that same 80% weight, which was, what's this on the bar? It looks like 50, 70, 75, 77, 76 or 77 kg. So I don't know exactly what that would be in terms of pounds. My pound to kg conversion is still not quite there. It's 77 times 2.2, which is whatever that is. It's too late at night to think about that. But yeah, overall that felt super solid. Really happy with how my bench has been progressing and moving over these past few weeks. If you guys recall, at the start of this program, my 1 rep max was 225 pounds, or approximately, what's that, like 100 kg, something like that, 102, I think, if I recall right, 102 kg. And considering I moved 209 there, plus 66 pounds of additional resistance, and it was pretty easy, is like, I'm really happy about that. Now, into the next day's training. So for these, I'm pretty much only going to be covering the main compound movement. So this is day 3 of the week, and it is a maximum effort lower body day. focusing on the deadlift. So the variation for today, as you can see, is a conventional deadlift with reverse bands. And I'm working up to a heavy 1 rep max, which I actually haven't done reverse band deadlifts in a long time. So felt a little bit funny. The bands were kind of moving the bar around a little more than I wanted to. It was hard to keep it in a straight line. But after I kind of started getting into it, I felt pretty good, got into a nice solid groove. Now, one thing to note with the band tension is I tried to get it set up to where basically the bands are slack at the top of the range of motion so that I'm essentially holding as much of the bar weight, or all of the bar weight would be ideal, all the bar weight as possible. So this is the top set, and we're working at about 220 kg at the top and about 180 kg at the bottom. So the bands are taking off like 20 kg at the bottom per side. But like I said, they go slack at the top, so it's basically the entire bar weight at the top. So somewhere around 480-ish, 485 pounds, which for me is a huge PR. I mean, I'm talking like 80-pound PR, considering at the start of this program, my deadlift 1 rep max was a solid 405. That's like RPE 9, RPE 10, 405 was my 1 rep max. So the fact that I was able to pull about 400 and at the bottom, and then have about 480, 485 at the top for a pretty easy single. I definitely could have gone up about maybe another 5, 10 kg, was really happy. Made me really happy. So after that, then again, dropped back down to 80% of that 1 rep max and did some volume work. Hit an AMRAP set for, again, 4 reps. No, I got 5 reps on that AMRAP set. The target was between 3 to 5, and then I did 4 additional sets at 3 reps per set. Now, another thing to note, and I'll talk about this towards the end of the video, is I've changed a few things up with my deadlift. So I was kind of playing around with it during these volume sets, which, like I said, we'll get into that more towards the end of the workout. But overall, this day was really good, was feeling really good about this. And it was Thanksgiving too, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Before I forget and before we move on, I also wanted to ask you guys if you would be interested in a video about this DIY belt squat that I made. So this is actually, surprisingly enough, one of the most used pieces of equipment in my home gym. I mean, I use it probably about 4 times a week, which is amazing to me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do. So if you guys are interested in kind of a write-up on like dimensions and all the cuts and the materials that I use to make this guy, just let me know down below in the comments section, and I'll try to put together a video for you guys. Now, on to the next day. This is day 4 of this week, and today was a dynamic effort lower body day. So with my training schedule, the way it's kind of been working out is I'm going off of a push-pull legs, a legs push-pull, legs push-pull split, where legs day, the first leg day is maximum effort lower body, focusing on a squat variation. First push day is maximum effort, focusing on a bench variation. First pull day is maximum effort, focusing on a deadlift variation, followed by a leg push or pull workout that's more focused towards bodybuilding and hypertrophy, things like that. So that's kind of the structuring of my training split as I get into this last 6 weeks. The first 6 weeks was more of a typical conjugate method, lower body maximum effort, lower body dynamic effort, rest, lower body maximum effort, upper body maximum effort, rest, lower body dynamic, upper body dynamic, and then rest. So that's kind of what it was the first 6 weeks of my programming. But getting into these last 6 weeks, I've switched it up to more of that kind of legs push pull, body power building conjugate incorporated thing to just try and see how I like it, see how it works, because I did find that with the standard conjugate method, I really enjoyed it, but I just felt like I wasn't getting the amount of volume that I really wanted, because for me, I'm used to doing a lot of hypertrophy and bodybuilding style training, which I know that if I'm doing too much volume, it can be counterproductive to strength training. But I do this because I enjoy it, so I might as well tailor my training to my likes and what I want to do, which is kind of why I'm playing around with it, seeing what works, and going off of how I feel, as opposed to just sticking straight to a program. I'm not a professional powerlifter, I'm not a professional bodybuilder or anything like that, so playing it by how I feel and what I enjoy is kind of the best thing that works out for me. Now, before we get into the rest of the video, well, actually, as we get into the rest of the video, I'm going to sign out here, and you guys will see the rest of it through another commentary. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to what is going to be video 1 or day 1 of the 25 days of Vlogmas. So you guys may have seen this around YouTube, around the internet, but I'm going to be taking on the challenge of creating a video or creating content, creating something every single day from now until Christmas. You might think as well that, well, you've already failed. It's December 2nd. It is for you guys. Today is December 1st. This is when I'm starting this, so we're going to be doing 25 videos all the way up through Christmas, basically, which means that there'll be a video from now, when you're seeing this, December 2nd, all the way through December 26th. So that's kind of the challenge that I'm taking on myself. Now, that doesn't mean that they're all going to be like vlogs or anything like that. I'm going to try and do tutorials. It's going to be anything from tutorials to workouts to training logs to whatever I feel like, vlogs, anything in between. So the main thing is I'm just gonna try and put out a single video at least once a day. So that's my goal for these next 25 days. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. If you guys do, let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you can catch every single video. But I am getting ready to move on to my second set of deadlifts. Today is a dynamic effort lower body day. So we're working at 55% of my 1 rep max for around 3 reps and trying to hit them for speed. 12 total sets with minimal rest between. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something that I've changed up recently, and that is actually how and where I'm wearing my belt. So if I set this camera down real quick. Now typically where I would wear my belt is going to be pretty much smack dab right in the center of my waist. So pretty much right at the bottom of my rib cage. So you can see when I tighten it, compresses my stomach, everything there, so I'm able to brace against it and try and push it out. But I saw something on, I believe it was Super Training, Mark Bell's YouTube channel. I don't remember who exactly he was interviewing or who he was working with, but they're going through kind of deadlifting and some different techniques. And he was wearing, the guy he was working with was wearing his belt like almost up at his nipples, like literally all the way up, touching his chest. So I thought, why the hell would you do that? And they really kind of went through and explained it and kind of just demoed how to do it and what it was, and it made a lot of sense. So I'll just show you kind of the position here. Basically get it up tight as you can, tighten it down. You don't want to do it too tight. And then what I do is I use my shirt or my jacket as leverage to get it even higher. So I pull down here, push up here, try and get it up to pretty much there. So it's basically right at the base of my chest, almost touching my nipples, and you can see how high it is. It's in the center of my back as opposed to being all the way down here where my typical belt would be. And the biggest difference with this is you might think, well, that's not doing anything, it's not giving you any support. Wrong. I was really surprised at this, but from this position, if you guys have your belt, give this a try. Get it set up like this, and then take a big breath in like you're going to brace. So one thing you'll notice is typically when you go to brace, when most people go to brace, you inhale through your chest. So you go, and you bring everything in here, which is not what we want to do when we're trying to brace. Typically when you're bracing, you don't want to be inhaling through your chest and upper body. A lot of times when they go to breathe and brace, they'll go inhale, get really large up here, everything goes out of their stomach. Well, what you actually want to do is you want to be diaphragm breathing or breathing through your stomach, kind of belly breath. So think of inhale and push out. Well, when you've got this thing compressing your chest, there's nowhere for the air to go but down. So it makes it 100 times easier to brace. And the other thing that I found is with that brace, as I'm compressing into a deadlift or into a squat, it compresses that brace even harder, which makes it even stronger. So it's just kind of something that I've been playing around with, and I really like the way it feels for low rep work. I will say for higher rep work, it starts to get a bit painful because the brace is so much harder and stiffer than what I'm used to. Now, with time, I might get used to it enough to where I'm able to wear the belt like this for higher rep work, but for right now, 3-4 reps is kind of my maximum. Otherwise, it starts hurting quite a bit. But we're gonna throw this on, we're gonna hit some reps here, and you guys can see kind of how it looks. So if I remember, I'll throw a link to the actual video down in the description. But yeah, definitely give this a shot if you guys haven't even thought of it before. Because like I said, I was a little skeptical at first, but when I tried it, it makes a night and day difference. So, all right, I gotta get to this set. Let's go. Alright, so just finished up the deadlift portion of today's workout. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. As you saw, I hit 12 sets of 3 reps for some speed work. Weight was 102 kg or 225 plus 50 kg or 110 pounds of band tension. So definitely increasing the band tension now that I'm into the second cycle of this training program. And it's definitely starting to get noticeable. I'm a little bit slower off the bottom, and I'm feeling that I'm really having to work through the entire range of motion and explode and continue to explode all the way to lockout. And I'm definitely starting to feel that, but I really like it. So something that we're gonna be continuing to work with. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the belt position like I talked about earlier, but I want to go a little bit more into detail. So one thing you'll notice is there's a few things that have changed with my setup due to the belt position. First is kind of well, let's start with first is how I'm setting up. So you notice I go through, I'm a little bit more meticulous. I kind of rock back and forth, find a bit of a groove, and then once I've found that spot, I'll lock my shoulders back, retract my scapula, get everything set, and then I pull. Now, there's a few reasons for that. One is I'm really trying to find where the brace is tightest, so I'm still kind of playing around with this, so I'm feeling it out a little bit. Two is it allows me to really just get set and locked into position, kind of works my way into it because the brace is so tight that it's hard to really kind of get all the way down there into that starting position. And then three, it allows me to kind of start pulling the slack out of the bar. So as I'm getting really locked into it, the slack is coming out of the bar, I get set, boom, and I pull. So it's just kind of a little change that I've had to make to my deadlift and to my form. The biggest part of it though is I'm a little bit more upright as opposed to what I was, which I feel is making me a lot stronger through the bottom of the movement because I'm no longer hinging from my waist and from my hips or off of my belt, which is something that I found I used to do, especially when I wasn't really taking the time to get set up properly, more just going up, gripping it and ripping it, as you'd say. So a few little changes, tweaks to my deadlift form. I haven't had to adjust anything to my squat form over the couple times that I've tried this belt position, and overall I think I'm going to be sticking with it for, like I was talking about, anything under around like 4 reps. Anything past that, and I'll have to work into that, but it's just too much. I can't hold that brace and hold my breath for that long without potentially passing out, so I'll just have to kind of slowly build my way up to higher reps with that. But yeah, it is night and day, so I would highly recommend giving it a try if you guys haven't tried a belt position like this before. I will guarantee you it's going to increase how much you're able to brace. Leave a comment down below if you guys give it a shot and what you guys think of it. It's gonna feel a little different, it's gonna feel kind of funny, but hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as I do. But before I continue to ramble, I'm actually gonna go head out to the gym and finish up my workout. Today is a pull workout, so I'm gonna be hitting back and biceps, and I'm actually gonna head out to Forge to do that, just because they have a lot more bodybuilding oriented machines there as opposed to what I have here at the home gym, which is more geared towards like powerlifting and strength training, as you guys have seen. I'm able to do everything else here pretty well, but I like to have those extra machines and the cable systems in order to hit my back a little better and a little harder, which I've got something coming towards the end of the year which will hopefully solve that issue. But for now, at least once a week, maybe twice a week, I'm actually going still to a commercial gym just because I want that extra variety in my training and because I have the membership. So I enjoy it, I use it, might as well. But I'm gonna go hit the gym now, so I will see you guys after I finish.